What happened at that carnival was a tragedy.
One that could have been avoided.
If you did not keep so many secrets...
Oh, well, what is this, a duet? Since when did you two get so chummy?
Don't change the subject.
The spirits of vengeance have always been the secret guardians of the Parchment of Power.
Guardians? Blaze is probably using the page as toilet paper right now.
I met the guy. You're giving him too much credit.
We did what we had to do. That secret kept the page out of our enemies' hands for centuries.
At what cost?
You cannot win this war with secrets.
Magic is right. If we're going to stop Lilith from causing any more massacres, we need to come clean with each other. Now.
There is nothing else, Captain.
I wish I could believe you.
So do I.
Then I don't see a point in continuing this conversation.
This is bull. Grade A bull.
You know, it's kind of rude to walk around in here and not give me so much as a hello.
I assumed you were asleep.
I don't sleep much. But that doesn't stop me from enjoying the company of a comfortable bed when I spot one.
After that fight at the Quentin Carnival, I suppose we all could use a lengthy rest.
I can't get too comfortable. Not so long as Sabretooth's still out there.
He is your quarry, I take it.
I guess you could say that. We have a history. None of it nice. Though he's definitely changed. His nasty side got, well, nastier.
From what I have seen, he should not be much trouble for you.
I've been tracking and fighting him for decades. If he was easy to handle, trust me, I would have put him away for good ages ago. This last time, though, he's gotten even more deadly.
Then I hope you can rise to the challenge. It does not look like you are planning to stay long. Some find our abbey to be a bit unnerving.
Oh, this place is nothing. You'd be surprised at some of the places I've rested my boots.
If you talk like that, now you have to tell me some stories.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I've been all over the planet. And a few other planets besides.
Other planets?
Yeah. We're not alone in the universe, you know. There's the Kree, there's Skrulls, there's the Brood. Most aliens you're better off avoiding, but there's a few good ones out there. I'll tell you though, after a while, all you really care about is a nice soft bed. I see the way you're looking at me. Who's this mysterious guy hanging out in my place all of a sudden?
Perhaps.
Tell you what, I've got a little break between people trying to kill me, so let's have a little chat.
What all do you know about this Johnny Blaze?
He's a flaming jackass. Used to be known as the Spirit of Vengeance, until even his attitude got too bad for that job. Seems like he's really committed to the carny life now. Must be the funnel cakes and fried candy bars.
Do you think a man like that is up to the challenge before him? Guarding the Parchment of Power is not a task taken lightly.
Yeah, we faced some vile customers together. He may not have the flaming skull thing anymore, but he's got guts where it counts.
How long have you known this Sabretooth? Seems like you two have a history.
His real name's Victor Creed, and you're right. We've got bad blood going back a long time. Believe it or not, we used to be teammates and pals. Kinda.
They say familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah, well, they get things dead on sometimes. Didn't take me long to notice he wasn't exactly playing with a full deck. Creed and I have long since chosen to follow different paths. Yet somehow we keep ending up at the same friggin' destination.
You seem like a nomad, but surely you have a place you call home.
I guess you could say Xavier's place has been the closest thing to a real home I've ever had.
Who?
A Professor Charles Xavier. He's got a swanky place outside of New York City. A private school. Lots of space and plenty of interesting folk. It's a lot like your Abbey here. Except Charles has a baseball field.
Baseball?
Yeah. If you got interest, I'd be happy to explain all the rules sometime.
You seem to know everyone. I assume you know the Midnight Suns as well?
I know some of these kids. Didn't know they got themselves a band name.
Who do you know?
Magic, for instance. She's the kid sister of a buddy of mine, Pyotr Rasputin. I call him Colossus.
Interesting. You and she have similar attitudes.
Maybe because we have similar backgrounds. I grew up in Canada, surrounded by wolves, and she grew up in Limbo, surrounded by demons.
Which place is worse, Canada or Limbo?
Oh, Limbo. They don't have hockey.
I have taken up enough of your time. I should go.
It's been a pleasure. If you have more questions, you know where to find me.
Sir, you there? I'm in the library. It's super important you meet me here ASAP.
Is Steve Rogers everyone's ideal dad? I see it.
I saw a listing for a 4-story walk-up, Upper West Side. Maybe your new sanctum.
What are you reading, Miko?
A limited edition print of the Book of Thoth.
The Book of Thoth? Where did you find a book of such rarity?
I didn't. Someone just left it out. Weird, too, because I was looking for a book on chaos magic so I could understand Wanda's grimoire a little better. I didn't think I was gonna find any, since Caretaker probably hid or burned every single text on the topic. But, poof, here this was, waiting for me.
It has been my experience that what we seek usually has a way of finding us first.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not like books just pull themselves off shelves and onto tables. Well, not in this castle at least. Someone left this out.
I wonder who.
Sometimes I think this library is haunted by a friendly librarian ghost.
Find anything helpful in it?
I did. There's a historical account of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who was struck by a dark madness after reading a page from an old book called The Scrolls of Chthon.
Wait, that is another name for the...
Darkhold, I know. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first case of corruption in recorded history.
Was this pharaoh's corruption ever purified?
Hold up, I haven't gotten to that part of the story. So the legend goes that nothing could cure the pharaoh until this traveling lightworker came along, laid his hands upon the pharaoh, and recited an incantation. The pharaoh came back to his senses and returned to his good old classical Egyptian disbody self.
Sounds like the best possible outcome was reached for everyone involved.
Well, not for everyone. So like, when the lightworker recited the incantation, he absorbed all the pharaoh's corruption into his own body and, died.
He did not survive?
No. But the lines of the incantation he used are scattered throughout this book. I'm gonna have Magic help me transcribe them and see if we can use them to cure Wanda.
Let me get this straight. You and Magic plan on piecing together a 100,000-year-old incantation that worked once and killed the person who said it?
Yes?
Nico, that sounds too dangerous even for you.
I have to try something!
Caretaker will not be pleased if she hears about this.
Caretaker can deal. Well, I'm gonna find Magic, see if we can make a dent in this transcription. I'll give you a shout when we do. Until then, not a word about this to anyone.
Glad to see Nico found the book I left him.
Tony, I can't think about that now. The Sanctum wasn't just a home. It was a part of it.
I need to get something off my chest.
Go for it.
I can't stand vampire movies.
Why not?
Why do you think? They take vicious killers and present them as tragic and misunderstood.
I know someone like that.
Logan's hardly tragic. And how do you misunderstand a guy with knives in his hands?
No, Never mind.
All I'm saying is, a tragic romance between a vampire and a human makes no sense to me.
Why not?
People who appreciate a good steak don't propose to the cow.
Would that not just piss off the bull?
More likely the farmer. There better be a next time.
I just hope this is what you were expecting, Hunter.
We are finally getting some decent tech down here. How's it going, boss? Always up for a challenge. Sometimes, I even impress myself. See you, Hunter.
This isn't working.
The map table? Should I get Tony?
No, I mean Midnight Suns, Avengers, and now X-Men. The Abbey. None of it's working. And I have no one to blame but myself.
That is not what I see.
I appreciate the rare vote of confidence, but you're wrong. This is my doing. 3 teams under the same roof, all fighting for different reasons. Nothing to bring us together. It's not too late to change that. If Agatha were here, she'd tell me... No, it doesn't matter. She isn't here.
If she were here, what do you think she would tell you to do?
To stop being so stubborn. That bringing everyone together is long overdue.
And that she loves you.
Yes.
So, what now?
I'm calling a meeting.
When?
Tonight. I'll spread the word. Find me after your mission. We can go there together.
All right.
Hunter, do you have another intel cache? See you soon. Where the hell did you go, Blaze? Some off-world motocross event?
Hydra Mystics are opening a gate. You've got to stop them. There's no telling what might emerge.
Looking at me now?
Your time has come!
Pain will shake our loyalty.
That must have taken practice.
That's one Mystic out.
Now for something real special. About that.
We've knocked another Mystic out of the ritual. Almost there.
Get you for that.
Submit.
The curse! An enduring pain.
Gotta get my bearings here.
Targeting systems active.
I have not shaken their confidence. The more the merrier.
one's for you.
Lilith herself is not best me. What makes you think you will fare any better?
Now it's my turn.
Whatever works. I think maybe you should ask about some new powers.
Really starting to grind my gears.
We are the... The rift opens.
Bring what you got. I think you just terrorized the wrong neighborhood, bub.
You had your chance. Hell with it.
I wasn't even trying that hard.
That wasn't bad.
I feel stronger already.
We have
take a break. We'll handle this.
That should get you going.
They are set on coming after me.
Just what I need. You adapt to that fate.
Mother protects us.
I am impressed.
I'm gonna rip you a new one. It's my turn now.
Looks like I get another shot. They finally got me.
Gets the job done.
I will never remove it.
How many times you gonna try that?
I've got your back.
Look at me now. There's probably still time for you to run off. I'll pretend this never happened. Hope you're ready. Come get it.
Well, that's interesting.
We'll see how you like it.
You have earned this! Weak, even for Hydra. For the rest of us.
Nice move, bud.
I am at my limit.
I've got a reputation to protect. How long have you been waiting to do that?
Confirmed enemy target.
Whatever works. Ow! Quit it!
Lilith herself is that bestie. What makes you think you will fail? I may need some help here. Hell that. I see not much has changed among the world's fanatics.
Where'd you learn that one?
Something is wrong.
We've done it. Hey, kiddo. Almost time for the meeting.
I'm ready.
All right, it's not far from here.
Hello, my dear.
What are you doing here?
Whenever Sarah was this nervous, I used to keep close. A look, a smile, a touch on the shoulder. It always helped. I can't do that now, of course, but death can't stop me from watching over her.
Why would she be nervous?
I don't know. I think I'll stay and find out.
How's it going?
I'm the best there is at what I do, but you're right behind me.
I dislike this.
Why? We don't know.
Everyone's here. I should begin.
You sound like you are hesitating.
That's because I am. I could use a moment to collect my thoughts.
Take your time. I will catch up with the others.
Thank you. It won't be long.
An auspicious night, don't you think, Mr. Rogers?
This is odd, huh?
The meeting?
No, meeting out here. Why not the common room? Something's up.
Nobody knows what this is about. Did she say something to you?
Not really.
Whatever it is, it can't be good.
I thought there'd be snacks.
I thought there'd be drinks.
I brought salt poppers, if you want some.
Those are vile. What the hell? I'll have a few.
Any idea what this is about?
Not really.
I think she's gonna yell at somebody.
Why do you say that?
Just a feeling.
What a waste of my evening.
Do you know what this is about?
No, but it will be a waste, I am certain.
Good thing you're fireproof.
Such a charming location for whatever is about to happen.
What? No predictions?
As I have mentioned on many occasions, often in your presence, I can no longer peer along the shaft of Time's arrow, nor alter its arc.
But if you could...
What would you suggest I do? Waste my considerable talents on a glorified pep talk? I should think not.
So you know nothing of what will happen?
I have my suspicions.
Did she say what it's about?
She didn't call this meeting lightly. Whatever this is, it's important.
How do you know?
Because I've called meetings like this before.
Big news, whatever it is.
How can you tell?
I've known Sarah long enough. After tonight, everything changes.
You know how long this will take?
I do not. Why?
Robbie and I had plans. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Short notice for a meeting.
What do you think it is about?
From the set of her jaw, some kind of reprimand.
I'm always wary of impromptu team meetings.
Why?
It's usually when people get fired.
You have been fired?
Me? No. But I've had to call those meetings, and they suck.
Here we are doing Blaze's dirty work for him. At least we do it better.
All right, I'm ready.
We are all ready to hear what you have to say.
Time to tear off the bandage. Thank you all for coming. Truthfully, I wasn't sure everyone would. And that's why we're meeting. The Hunter and I are working to stop Lilith and her master, Chthon. I'm not certain about the rest of you.
We're in this to the end.
Are you? I see petty rivals more concerned with scoring points off one another than stopping the mother of demons.
Whoa there, if anyone isn't pulling their weight, it's the Midnight Suns.
And if anyone's doing their own thing, it's the Avengers.
And the ringleaders prove my point. But I speak only for myself. So, I ask the Hunter, who is responsible for the dysfunctional state in which we find ourselves?
If anyone should be held responsible, it is me.
Agree to disagree, boss.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but Tony's right.
And that's my new ringtone.
Don't ruin the moment.
It is true. I have not done enough for any team. If I am the one who brings people together to defeat Lilith, I have already failed.
She will destroy everything you know, pollute all you love. In this, she and her followers are unified. To serve Lilith is to serve Chthon. If you don't pull the same direction, if you'd rather fight each other, we've already lost.
Look, the Midnight Suns are unproven. I will grant that they have potential, but we can't trust an apocalyptic threat to the Halloween teens.
We're all in our 20s.
Could have fooled me.
See? The Avengers underestimate their allies. You think they'll do otherwise for the Mother of Demons? If they're in charge, we lose.
You're both right. The only one who can lead us to victory is the Hunter.
Huh.
That's our Steve.
What do you say, Hunter? Are you willing to lead us against your own mother?
Only if everyone wants me to do it.
I can only speak for myself, but you already convinced me.
Just like that?
It's a heavy responsibility. I wanted to hear you say you're willing to bear it. We're your team, Hunter. Tell us how you plan to lead us.
We know our goal. Now we need to do the work. I plan to push everyone here to the limit. But no one has to do anything I would not do myself. Without trust and respect, we are no team.
Highly inspirational, boss, but let's get down to vibranium tax. We're all equal here, and it's obvious my team is first among equals. Look, there's no question these kids have heart. We can't do any of this without them. But this isn't our first apocalypse, and experience beats heart any day of the week. Boss, I need to know where we stand on this.
Tony, do you believe the world is truly in danger?
Of course.
And do you believe I can lead the team against this threat?
Well, yeah.
Then you and the rest of the Avengers need to trust me to do what is best for all of us.
Not to interrupt this feel-good moment, but what about us? It's no secret we were sidelined when Tony and the others showed up. Caretaker built our team to face this threat, but we've been pushed aside. I need to know that ends here.
I would never doubt the capabilities of the Midnight Suns. You know that, do you not?
Of course, and we aren't asking for special treatment, just...
A seat at the table?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course you will have that. Everyone will. You have my guarantee.
That's enough for tonight. I want all of you to reflect on what we said. If you'll excuse me, I need a moment with the Hunter. So that's it. We did what we could. Let's hope it works.
I had no idea this was coming.
Kiddo, you have no poker face. For the others to consider you as a leader, your reaction needed to be genuine.
Was Steve in on this?
No, but he respects you, and I had a feeling he'd speak his mind. If he hadn't suggested you take the reins, it would have been me.
I still do not see the point of all this.
They're finally thinking of something other than themselves. That was the point.
That is all I needed.
Tonight, we pulled the plunger and set the ball rolling. The rest is gravity, and the occasional nudge.
Is that a pinball reference?
In the 70s, Agatha insisted I pick up a hobby. I won a few tournaments.
Why do I know about pinball?
Perhaps it's the universe telling you to challenge me when this is all done?
Think I could take you?
No. You drain faster than bathwater.
Every meeting should be like this one.
Unpleasant?
Contentious?
Yeah, I guess I can follow you. For now.
What are you saying exactly?
Kid, don't lose my respect. It's the part of me that won't grow back. Whoa there, Hunt.
I don't know if I agree with everything you said. Still, I'm glad you said it.
What do you mean?
This is the first time I've felt like I'm really part of a team. Not just Peter tagging along. I get it, we're in this together. But it's good to know that's how you see it.
Did you plan this with Caretaker?
Nope, it was off the cuff.
Impressive to see that in person.
I get what Steve sees in you.
Is that a compliment or an insult?
With him, depends on the week. But for you, it's all compliment, boss. Wouldn't you know it? Now you're the actual boss. And I called it, way before Steve did.
I don't know how to feel about this. I'm happy for you, but I hope it isn't weird when we hang out.
Why would it be weird?
Huh. Good point. Alright, let's not make it weird. Woo. Don't know about you guys, but that...
I had not predicted this.
Really?
No. Sarah spoke with me earlier. We have a long history of mutual advisement.
What advice did you provide?
About time. Which was a mistake. She thought I'd presented her with a temporal riddle, as I do on occasion.
I could have brought popcorn.
For the team?
No, to watch you turn the Abbey upside down and shake it like tambourines. You were more entertaining than anything I could have done tonight. Next time, I'll bring popcorn.
Not what I expected.
Is that good or bad?
Right now? Feels good to me.
You certainly know how to speak your mind.
You agreed with me?
Of course not. But you stepped up, you laid it out, and now you're ready to walk straight into hell. Figure I'll be there when you do.
Really?
Yeah, you're the obvious target, so I'll slip past why they tear you limb from limb. Don't worry, we'll build you a bigger mausoleum.
Always the strategist.
Still working out the kinks, but we'll get there.
Don't know why I didn't see it. You're perfect for this.
You did not see me as a leader?
It never crossed my mind. Most leaders I've encountered in life have a sort of professional ambition, for better or worse. Steve doesn't, but he's also called Captain America. The name alone carries rank and authority.
So if I went by Private Hunter...
Oh no, don't call yourself that. And I'm not explaining why.
I didn't come here planning to put you on the spot, but that's how it turned out.
You really think I can do this?
I know you can do this. And you have a great team ready for you to lead them. So let's get started.
I'm so proud of her. And you, of course. Don't pout.
I should have told you about it.
Ain't gonna go easy, bub. Nice match, kid.
Time to take it to the next level.
Any new leads? cut through that encryption in no time. Just more evil junk. Don't these people sleep? Have hobbies? Pick your target, Hunter. If we had some rookies, I'd say send them out for the experience. But I think we're past that. Stay out of trouble.
There you are, Hunter. Please join me when you have a moment. I insist.
What do you think of Logan?
It's good to have him here again. He's always been a trusted friend.
I can see that. He seems to be a man of good character, despite the claws.
Always thought his claws were his best feature. They protected us, Agatha and I. Could even say they saved our lives. It must have been, what, 1985? 84? I remember because Agatha crimped her hair and shoulder pads had cast some strange spell over my wardrobe. We looked quite ridiculous, but we were happy. Well, happy until a rather disturbed coven of witches by the name of the Salem Seven invaded our home.
That must have been terrifying.
It was. But what was even worse was that they were Agatha's own grandchildren by her son Nicholas Scratch.
They tried to kidnap their grandmother?
They felt she had betrayed which kind by choosing to live among humans, and came to drag her back to New Salem by force. Logan was staying with us when they invaded our home. He hid us in a secret passage and refused to tell them where we were. He kept our secret and fought them off long enough for Agatha to invoke a banishing spell. Without him, they would have surely kidnapped her, or maybe worse.
If it came down to it, I'm sure you would have prevented Agatha from being taken.
I'm not so sure about that. 7 witches are a lot to fend off. I would have been outnumbered, just like I am now. Speaking of dysfunctional dynamics, I do trust you, you know, even though I don't always show it.
I know.
Even though you don't always show it?
Something like that.
Common ground? Who would have thought?
Where in the hell are you, Blaze? Are you, Blaze?
Oh, you are gonna love this. Give me a sec. Okay, what's up? These should definitely give you an edge. Another magical...
Always a pleasure.
Where in the hell are you, Blaze? Thanks, Hunter. Was running a search for our new pal Blaze's location, and all of a sudden, this happened.
Equo ne credite tucri.
Latin?
Do not trust the horse Trojans. Carol, just what type of search were you running? There. It's a message. Well, more like a bad dad joke from beyond the grave.
Howard?
His research files. Whenever there's any unauthorized access, the Trojan Horse program activates, and... bingo! There's our little thief right there.
The Southwest. That cannot be a coincidence.
Tony, did Howard do this to all his files?
Oh no, only the good stuff. The really juicy stuff.
How juicy?
Well, I'll give you 2 guesses, but you'll only need one. A big green one.
Where in the hell are you, Blaze?
And how Lilith plans to use it.
Find out what Banner is searching for in the Stark files, then get back here.
We got this, Sarah. I know how to handle Bruce.
He's fallen under Lilith's power.
Stark, wait! We don't know what he's planning.
Hesitated with Bruce before and it cost us. Don't worry. This time I've accounted for...
And if these results are correct, it changes everything.
You knowingly triggered that Trojan horse, didn't you?
I did.
Another trap, Bruce? I'm disappointed.
No trap, Tony. An invitation.
To what? Join Queen Demon and the Creepy Crew? If anyone could fight her off, I'd have thought it'd be you.
And why would I ever want to do that? She values me, not the monster you all seem so fixated with. Together, we will shatter the limitations of what you refer to as magic and science. But don't take my word on it. My Gamma Accelerator is only the first step. We stand on the precipice of true
Yeah, heard that one before. Usually when Pops was ready to kick off a new arms race.
Save your phony disgust for the cameras. We both know you're interested. I want you to finish Howard's work.
Uh-huh.
With me.
Of course.
Together we will fulfill your father's destiny.
Yep.
And bask in the glory of the Dark Mother.
And there it is. Well, Bruce, I can see how well this whole Lilith thing is working out for you, but the problem is, I already have a team. And while I appreciate the generous offer, we're gonna take back my father's data. And then kick your evil ass.
You misunderstand me, Tony. I wasn't asking.
Dr. Banner was kind enough to alert Hydra's forces to your presence. If you ever wanted to show off your elite hacking skills, now would be the time, Mr. Stark.
Me? Show off? What would ever give you that idea? And didn't I tell you to call me Tony?
Just hack the computer before they smash it, please, Tony.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Rip you in two.
I know that wasn't your signature move. You guys should talk to your union rep. I don't think you're supposed to be fighting on our level yet. Let's try this one.
I hope you are building one of those suits for me.
I'm saving my energy for the limit.
Let's see what you're after, Stark. How long have you been waiting to do that?
Engage the target!
Well, Freddy hit harder than that.
A blessing. Hardly a scratch.
They're almost here. Hold position. Won't be in vain.
You really are a terrible salesman, Bruce. At least butter me up before you attack my deservedly huge ego.
Kiss it goodbye.
Fair enough. This shouldn't take long. I gotta say, the whole Hail Hydra thing is pretty stale. Got any new material?
They're not living up to their reputation. I'll head.
They're almost here. Hold position.
You have nothing to fear.
That facility is teeming with Hydra reinforcements. Anything you can do to expedite the process.
Look, you can't just smash the keyboard and wait for a bunch of algebraic equations to fly off the screen. This isn't some 90s movie.
They cannot possibly match your strength.
Just what I need.
They will know our power.
See, that wasn't so hard.
My purpose is clear.
It's your time.
You think I'd want to make him proud? You don't know me at all, Bruce.
I'm sure you can tell from there, but I'm seeing power fluctuations in Hydra's system. It's not going to last much longer at this rate. Credit where credit is due. Stark knows his technology.
Got it.
Why can it never be easy with you?
Just lucky, I guess.
Tony, wait. We have what we came for. There is no reason to follow him.
beautiful, too painful for words. So I'll show you. Yes, of course.
Okay, then you were right.
Oh, and Tony? This was the trap.
Holy mother of... Is it me, or are these things just getting bigger and bigger? Look at the forehead on that thing.
Concerned about the mace.
Oh, I was getting to that. But I just can't pull my eyes away from that massive brain case of hers.
I'm glad you're in good spirits, but the Dread Maiden is no laughing matter.
I know what my future holds.
Sure, why not? Who designed your armor? Because it looks like junk. Shouldn't have pissed me off.
The wonders of modern technology.
Your deliverance! We will make this quick.
Not even a death. Bring it on.
She's going to try summoning reinforcements unless you can disable her first.
Sure, maybe we'll just take a few swipes at her kneecaps.
The light will carry you onward. Welcome assistance.
Attached to that. First one that makes an old dog joke gets diced.
Let's do it. I feel at least 4% stronger than before. Gotta check on that.
The light is on our side.
Good stuff. Stay down.
Leave some for the rest of us. You will have to do better than that.
Embrace your end!
You must.
Some of them will join you on the other side.
Right here.
Lilith has made this Dread Maiden in her own twisted image.
Interesting interpretation. I would have guessed it was something out of Giger's sketchbooks.
That will not distract me.
Too weak for this fight. Your mother abandons you. I'm impressed. Now that was something. They have not lost focus yet. Sheer numbers won't save you now.
Bad luck for you.
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. You have earned.
Nice move, bub. Now for something real special.
All systems nominal.
That must have taken practice. Now you're starting to piss me off.
My fate is no different from yours.
Bring what you got.
The longer this takes, the more danger you're in. Don't let her overwhelm you.
That's a really helpful insight. Maybe you should come down here and knock her out for us.
About time.
Falter.
Love the effort.
Maybe it's time you quit this racket.
I will not be defeated!
I will not waste this opportunity. They cannot possibly match your strength.
Not bad, bud.
I will hold the line.
More fodder for your amusement.
I have not shaken their confidence. They will not last much longer at this rate.
Should do the trick.
Feel my call. Your fate.
Whatever gets the job done.
I fear no end!
Walk in the light. The advantage is mine.
Whatever gets the job done.
They're still coming for me.
A crushing blow!
How many times is that?
Their loyalty to her is unwavering.
I am still the prize. We are doing well so far.
Want it done right, gotta do it yourself. Hope you're ready.
I will not be defeated!
Now it's my turn.
I wasn't sure how you'd fare against her, but the Dread Maiden was no match for you.
What'd you call that thing again?
Dread Maiden.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I think I lost myself there for a second. I should have listened to you. I'm sorry about that.
He that starts out on a quest for vengeance.
This work, this discovery, will have ramifications for generations to come. Think my own son, Tony.
Better not miss.